What's good, everybody? It's your boy Taco, and today we're back with another video on the main channel, and this is my first mock draft for the 2023 draft. Most likely not the last. I'll probably have one coming out in like 2 weeks, and then another one I'm gonna try to have out the day before the draft. But really, I don't know a ton about these guys. I'm gonna get a lot more into draft content a little bit later. It's not like a few years ago where I was really in depth into it because the Eagles were $50 million over the cap, so we weren't going to get anybody anyways. But let's just get right into it. In this mock draft, I do have one. Hold on, this is kind of complicated. I have 1, 2, 3 trades, 4 trades. I have 4 trades. But let's just get into it, starting off with the Panthers with the first overall pick. Not really a surprise to anyone. Here, let me move over here for the edits. It will be C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud goes to the Panthers at number 1. No surprise there. Great player. Great passer. They're making a mistake here. They should be getting Bryce Young, but they aren't going to. They're going to pick Stroud. It seems like that's the guy that Reich wants, and he's probably the second best. Let's just move on to the second pick, and a guy that I believe will be the best quarterback, and that's Bryce Young. I know that there are height concerns, but that's not really been the problem with Kyler Murray, and Russell Wilson has shown that it's not really the problem with him. He never really had any problem with his height. So I don't think that the height is a big deal, and then you get to the next shortest guy from the past 10 years, which is Drew Brees. So guess what? Nobody cares about a guy's height. But Bryce Young, just great player. Again, I don't know a ton about these guys. Will Anderson, I watched some highlights on him. He's going to the Cardinals at 3. He's explosive. He, boom, pew, pew, boom, boom. Gets the ball, gets to the ball, always where the ball is, high motor, high athleticism, good guy to have for the Cardinals. Number 4, I have the Colts picking here, and I have them picking Anthony Richardson, who had a huge uptick in value coming out of the combine, where he pretty much tested the best of all time in everything now, athletically, even though Lamar Jackson, Michael Vick didn't do the combine, so kind of knocks it down a little bit, but still great. And then you have this kind of area. So you have the 3 big quarterbacks. You do have Will Levis, but none of these teams really need a Will Levis. Jalen Carter's fallen a little bit, but there aren't really that other top-tier guys, at least from what I believe. But what I've seen most people do with the Seahawks pick here is Tyree Wilson. From what I know, he's great. He's athletic. He has had an injury recently. That's really all that I know about him. 6th pick, I do have Jalen Carter. Good player. Good player. Not good guy. But who knows what Detroit can do to him. You just gotta kind of test it out. He had a few issues we saw, but it has to be something mentally that's affecting him. You can't pretty much kill somebody. Not kill somebody, because it's not like, it's not huge, okay? So he couldn't have killed somebody like the way that Henry Ruggs did, but he must have kind of been involved in the death. But either way, he saw his very close friend die, and people are blaming it on him, and his name is in the media quite a lot. So I feel like that's got to affect a guy, and that's probably the reason why he's 40 pounds overweight. Or not 40, like 10 pounds overweight at his pro day. But who knows? Hopefully he can get back on the right track as a person and as a player, depending on how much he really needs the person help. You then have the 7th pick with the Raiders. I have them keeping this pick, getting Devon Witherspoon, who solid corner from what I know. I know that he can lay the boom. I also know that he played at a kind of small school. But I've heard that he's physical, and I heard that he's a big hitter. That's really it. Then we have the three main tackles being selected with three straight picks. I don't know anything about these tackles. I just went in the order that Pro Football Network had them ranked. So, number 8, I have the Steelers actually trading up, making a trade with the Falcons. You never really see the Steelers in two big trades, but the Falcons, I don't feel like they're going to get a quarterback because they got Heineke, and then what's that pick really worth? So they let the Steelers jump up, get their tackle of the future, and Paris Johnson, and then the XFL is on, which has actually been kind of entertaining, mostly. I then have the Bears staying at their pick, picking Peter Skoronski, and then I have the Eagles trading with the New York Jets. From 10 to 13, them swap picks there, and the Jets get Broderick Jones. I just know that these guys are all offensive linemen, and they're all probably somewhat good. They probably have different skill sets that I haven't went into. And then we have our third out of 4 trades, which is the Titans trading with the Bucks, and this is where we get the hitter with Will Levis. Now that I look at this, are the Texans going to get one? No, they already got one. Eagles, no. Patriots, no. You maybe could have traded with the Packers or Washington, but you maybe didn't have to jump this high for Levis. But they do. The Bucks get Will Levis at number 11. Myles Murphy goes at 12 to the Texans. I've heard a lot of stock about Myles Murphy dropping. I assume at the beginning thought that he was going to go like 6 to 9, but now it seems like he's down in the 16 to 25 range, but I'm still having him up here at 12 because I haven't paid attention that much, and he seemed like a guy that would be good for the Texans. Just a good defensive presence. Bijan Robinson to the Eagles. Of course I had Bijan Robinson go to the Eagles. The Eagles have always kind of had a revolving door, and even after this year, Scott's out for contract again. Rashad Penny, who they signed, is going to be out for contract again. So the running backs are just kind of a revolving door there. You're getting a guy for 5 years who's going to be good for those 5 years, and you probably don't have to pay him a ton for those 5 years if we're looking at just the 13th pick versus whatever you're going to have to pay a free agent at that level. So, yeah, and it's Howie Roseman. He's going to be able to do this stuff. None of the teams in front of him really need a running back, except for you could say the Jets. No, the Jets have Breece Hall. What am I talking about? But yeah, the Patriots get Christian Gonzalez just because he was a high available guy. I know that he's a corner from Oregon. That's it. I don't know a lot about any of these guys. Quentin Johnson, I actually watched a game of him, that game that TCU played Michigan. It was one of 2 games that I watched in college football last year. The other one was the game that played later that day. But, and that was only because I was at somebody else's house. I wasn't going to watch it by myself. But he fast. That's why I know, and I also know that the Packers need a receiver. Brian Branch goes to Washington at 16. I've heard that he's just a versatile safety. That he's just a versatile safety. He can kind of play anywhere, and that's probably something that this Washington defense will want, is a guy back there in the secondary being able to do all that stuff, because the last time they had somebody like that, he got shot. Let's not think about that. Luke Van Ness at 17 to the Falcons. Good guy. Good player. I just know that he's freaky athletic. He's like 6'5", he's like 250, and the Falcons need a guy like that. Michael Mayer at 18 to the Lions. Michael Mayer, tight end. Lions need a tight end. And seems like a guy that can be versatile, fit into this offense. This offense is explosive. People don't realize Jared Goff played like a top 10 quarterback last year. You're getting a good tight end for him after trading away TJ Hawkinson in one of the dumbest moves you've ever made. It's a good deal. And then you have the Titans getting Nolan Smith at 19. Titans, Nolan Smith. I know that Nolan Smith is good, and I have him going to the Titans. I just know he did really well at the combine. He ran like a 4.38 or something. Brian Brian is going to the Seahawks at 20. Good player. Big guy, defensive tackle. That's it. Joey Porter, he went to Penn State. I just know that he's a good man-coverage corner, and I only know that because Penn State plays a lot of man. But I have him going to the Chargers. I have Jackson Smith and Jigba going to the Baltimore Ravens at 22. He's a freaky receiver. He really had 1 year where he could be in the spotlight, and even that was taken up by Marvin Harrison. But he never really was the top receiver there at Ohio State. He was probably split as the top receiver there with Marvin Harrison, who's going to be a top 10 pick in next year's draft. But he's a good player, and the Ravens need a receiver, and I'll finally have them getting a receiver. Because if they don't get a receiver, Lamar Jackson's not staying in Baltimore. The Vikings, really, I only picked this because I saw a video by a guy who said that the Vikings are going to do this, and this is Cam Smith out of South Carolina. I know that South Carolina produced J.C. Horn, so that means that they must be pretty good at producing corners, and from what I've heard, Cam Smith is athletic. Osiris Torrance, again, early in the draft process, it seems like he was in the 15 to 18 range. Now it seems like he's not even in the first round, but I still included him here because I really didn't know what else the Jaguars were going to have. It seems like they're fine at quarterback, running back, receiver, tight end. Tight end, they can maybe use a little work. Who's their tight end? I'm an idiot. Outer offensive line's fine. They need inner offensive line, and their defense is fine. So I had them pick Osiris Torrance. Jordan Addison goes to the Giants. The Giants need another receiver to go along with, who would I consider their first guy? They have Isaiah Hodgins. They have Darius Slayton. They have somebody that I'm forgetting. It's making me very annoyed, but it's not Kenny Galladay. I don't know, but either way, they're getting Jordan Addison here. Nice upside speedy receiver, that's what I know. Kalijah Cansey, defensive lineman on the Pittsburgh Panthers. I was going to say Steelers just because it's like Pittsburgh and it's black and, I guess they're black and blue, but I've heard a lot of comparisons to Aaron Donald. I really hope that the Cowboys don't get Aaron Donald, but it seems like they're going to get a good player in Kalijah Cansey. I then have the last trade dealing with the Chiefs moving up again with the Bills, swapping first round picks. So the Chiefs will get themselves Anton Harrison, offensive tackle from Oklahoma. Don't know anything about him. He's an offensive tackle. The Bengals get Kelee Ringo. It seems like he has fallen off of a cliff since the last time that I heard about him. But yeah, Kelee Ringo, all right. I have the Saints getting Zay Flowers. Landry's gone. Hold on. Is Landry gone? Landry is gone. Bum, 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 bum. I searched up Landry, and it's a hospital. I don't care. But Olave, yeah, he's gone. Olave, you have Michael Thomas. Zay Flowers, just speedy. He's not something that the other guys have, which is shiftiness and extreme shiftiness. And I think that that's something that the Saints would want the Eagles. I saw this guy Isaiah Foxy there, and I was like, Howie loves his edge rushers, so I picked him. Know nothing about him. And then same with this last pick. I just kind of know that the Bills need a corner to go along with Tre'Davious White, so I gave them Deonte Banks out of Maryland. So yeah, I have no clue what I'm doing with this mock draft. I'll be a lot more in tune with the draft in about 2 weeks. I'm going to start doing draft content on the Eagles channel, and then that will just pour into knowledge for these drafts. But I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure that you drop a like and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.